The Wedding Show is the 4th episode of Kelly Kelly, and it's kind of interesting to have the wedding just in the middle of a season. The whole show, at least the whole first season, is all about Kelly becoming part of this family, and I had assumed incorrectly that a lot of the build-up of the first season would lead us to the wedding. So to have it just in the 4th episode felt a little bit random, but it is a good episode. On the one hand, a lot happens. And on the other, not a lot happens, so there will be spoilers as I explain what I mean by that. I think it's very quick. We kind of jump around quite a lot, but when I tell you what happens, you'll realise that there's not a lot of variety. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I still thought it was pretty decent. Kelly is handing out instructions and Doug is trying to do all of the things that he needs to do, but then they realise that they've been so busy they haven't had time for each other. So they try and have a romantic evening, and it doesn't go according to plan. It was mostly Doug's fault to begin with because he was choosing sport over Kelly, and I feel like they could have done a little bit more with that. He apologised and Kelly forgave him very, very quickly. Now that's actually probably a very healthy way to do things, but it doesn't make for the most exciting narrative. And then they have a picnic and the family comes over and they basically have to realise that this is reality. And there's this beautifully written moment in the car before the wedding. Kelly looks absolutely stunning. Shelley Long is so beautiful. And Kelly realises that her idea of romance is not necessarily reality. And I feel like this is a really important topic because real life is not, in most cases, the way we are taught that it is when we're growing up and we're reading romance novels as teenagers and watching romantic films. But in reality, life is messy and chaotic, and it's not necessarily picture perfect the way a lot of the media tells us that it should be. And Doug helps Kelly to realise that actually what they have is more. There's more substance to their reality. And it was a really well-written moment in the car and beautifully filmed. We have some gorgeous shots. Very, very well done. And then we have the wedding. And there is only one problem with the wedding that we, the viewer, can see. And this is the fact that Sean, he didn't give his girlfriend Kelly's wedding ring. He is entrusted with looking after the rings, and his girlfriend kind of assumed the ring was for her. So Sean didn't give it to her, but also Sean didn't say, no, it's not for you, and Sean doesn't want this girl to break up with him, so he kind of didn't do anything about it. And we get to the church, and this girl still has the ring on her finger. And I will say I absolutely loved Maureen's role in this. She stood up and made caw noises at one point, and it was just beautifully executed, brilliantly done. And the pacing for this is so strange, and I'm just really baffled. Not necessarily disappointed, just confused as to how brief the wedding itself was. We're in the church for a couple of minutes at the most, and I did think this episode would have been better at the end. Now, I don't know how the season ends. We still have 3 more episodes to go, but it just felt a little bit of a strange time within the season. The wedding itself, usually when there's a wedding in a TV show, it takes up so much time, and that's because it's a big occasion. Now, maybe they're trying to say we'll focus more on the scenes in the house because that's reality. The romanticized church wedding is only reality for a brief period. Maybe that's what they were going with. Maybe I'm just trying to find a reason for why it took up so little time. But nevertheless, it was a good episode. I liked it. It was unexpected. It's definitely not what I thought it would be. Definitely not how I thought things would play out. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I still enjoyed it. I honestly have no idea what the rest of this season is going to be like because I did just assume, incorrectly, that we were building up to the wedding in the final episode. So I'm keen to see what's in store. And for now, I can say that the wedding show, although surprising, was still a good episode.